So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another installment of Virtual School Survival Skills. Our our program here has just really taken off, and we have a lot of students come. But I think of all the sessions that we have done, this one by far is probably the most popular because test anxiety, regardless of whether or not someone has uh, diagnosed anxiety, test anxiety seems to be pretty pervasive amongst students. And even there might be some classes where you feel like, yeah, I can do the test in this class, but then others where there's a lot of stress involved because you know it's a subject that's not your strength. So today we're going to talk about some strategies about how to identify your anxiety and what to do to help reduce your anxiety so that you can, you know, relax and be more focused when you're taking your exam. So Ramon, take it away.
All right. So identifying your anxiety triggers is big, right? Do you focus on being unprepared? You can ask yourself some of these questions. Do you feel questions are unfair? And that's every college student for every exam, right? Like we feel every question is unfair, or maybe a couple of questions are unfair. Do you worry you won't be able to focus during your exams, during class? Um, do you believe you just can't do it, right? There's a little bit of imposter syndrome in all of us at some point. I know personally for me, it was. I always, kind of doubted myself, even when I was in community college and undergrad, even in graduate school. I'm like, what am I doing here? Can I do this? I feel like I'm way over my head, or way out of my league. So that could be a huge anxiety trigger for someone if you're just kind of doubting yourself while you're there, and all of you can do this, so you shouldn't be thinking that way, but it happens. Do you feel the test is too hard? That's a big one as well. Do you worry you'll go too slow? That was always a big thing for me in exams. I was always the last one to finish up. And then do you have anxiety about the anxiety, right? That's probably a big one, right? You're worried about being worried, and it happens to all of us as college students. If you don't, then there's something wrong. It's just part of being a college student. So let's employ some strategies to counter this and to counter some of these anxiety triggers.
So the first thing we're going to talk about is trying to identify what is your biggest anxiety trigger. So I want you to think about maybe an upcoming exam or an exam you've recently had, and what kind of thoughts were going through your mind as you were approaching the exam or taking an exam. You don't have to share. I just want you to really think about it. And it could be things like, I am not good in this subject.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really feel like I have a good grasp of the material.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I can do well on the exam. So self-doubt is kind of the biggest trigger. Or it could be, I don't test well, and what if I have a panic attack in the middle of the exam? What am I going to do? So there's a fear about the process. It could be maybe right now with online school, you're having iffy technology and you're worried that maybe your internet will go out in the middle exam, and that's giving a lot of anxiety. So really think about kind of what you're thinking about when you approach taking your exams, and that helps you identify what your trigger is that brings up your test anxiety. Does anybody want to share?
I can share something that was a big anxiety trigger for me, Bonnie.
Yeah.
For me was putting off assignments till the last minute. That was a huge anxiety trigger for me. I needed to make sure that I started my assignments as soon as they were given to me, because I can't do well under I can't write a 5-6 page essay the night before and expect it to be up to my standards, or even be a good paper at all. I really needed to take my time and break the assignments down and really just take it one piece at a time. And that would really, really, I was always the one to have my assignments done like a day before, or maybe even 2 days before. That way it gave me lots of time to go back and edit, and just to make sure that the assignment was up to par. So that was one of my biggest anxiety triggers. Was sometimes life gets in the way, work gets in the way, and sometimes you don't have that time to really focus on the assignments. And that was always one of my biggest ones, when I felt rushed to do an assignment.
Yeah. So that self-doubt can be really difficult, but
Yeah.
it sounds like you found. Sorry, that was a cord on my computer. Sorry about that, you guys.
No worries. You jumped pretty high there, Bonnie. We have that on video. We have it on video too, Bonnie. So,
so we'll be editing the video. So it sounds like, Ramon, you found some really good strategies to manage it.
and it's something that I go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's really great that you figured out how to overcome it, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it took me some time to figure out. I think I didn't, community college. I started really towards the end of my community college experience. I really started figuring out how to write papers and how to submit assignments, and figured out a system for myself. So I used that system all the way through. I perfected it, I guess, all the way through undergrad, and then I got really good at it in graduate school, because you can't mess around in graduate school. You really needed, you got 10, 15, 20 page papers that you have to submit. Like, I really needed to get on top of it. But yeah, it took me a few years to realize it, but I was able to pinpoint that.
It's good. Yeah, when I was in undergrad, for me, it was always the classes that were really hard that I would have anxiety when I had to take the tests. So like, I'm not good at history. Like I don't memorize factual information like that well. And I always had a lot of anxiety with history exams. And then I also had to take something called structural engineering and physics, and they did not make sense to me. So it was really hard to take those tests. So, okay. Well, so hopefully everybody has an idea of what their triggers are. So
I think it's for me. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt
go
you guys.
ahead.
For me, it's like before I used to kind of leave it. Like I would like schedule myself to like be like, okay, today an hour, today an hour, 2 hours and stuff. But I would never really do it. Like I would never be like, oh, okay, if I don't have the time, it's okay. I have like the other day schedule. So I was kind of like behind on my scheduling. And then when I was time to actually take the exam, like the night before, I would be like cramming everything in, and it wouldn't work for me. I was like, ugh. And that's when I realized that I cannot do all-nighters. I was like, I tried so hard. I was like, it's not possible for me.
Yeah.
And then right now with the virtual environment, I don't like that the professors don't give us like the full time to take the exam. It's more like, oh, you only have like 20 minutes to take a like 15 question exam. I'm like, I need more time.
Wait, so they're not giving you your
oh yeah, but like
okay.
for other students as well.
I was gonna say we need to talk then, if that's not.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, all right, okay.
No, I'm just saying in general, like their standards right now, it's like I need more time. Like and I'm like, what about if our internet like disconnects on us or something? Yeah, a friend of mine, he's like, oh, that's not she's like, well, I had internet problems, and the professor's like, oh, well, that's your problem. You have to figure that on your own. I'm not giving you like letting you make up or something,
I think that for something like that, you might want to reach out to the dean's office. Since it's not disability related, we can't assist, but my understanding is if you have technical issues that impact exams, you definitely should talk to the dean's office about that.
Oh, I should let her know, because he did that. He was like, oh no, that's not my problem. I'm not taking that as an excuse.
Yeah. We could talk about that once we're done with the workshop.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Cool. So Ramon, do you want to talk about, one of the first steps to helping your anxiety?
Of course, and that's reframing your thoughts. what we say to ourselves impacts how we feel. If you're constantly telling yourself you can't do something, then it's going to be harder for you, right? If you don't go in confident, um, just be aware of this negative self-talk and try to counter it. Positive affirmations are a lot better than negative affirmations. So you want to make sure you tell yourself something positive every day. You're all here. You're all high level students at a 4-year state university. You're taking high level courses right now. It's supposed to be hard, but you all are here for a reason, because you've already gotten this far. So you can do this. Um, what thoughts are you telling yourself that increase your anxiety? Try to eliminate those thoughts. Do you believe you can overcome your anxiety? I'm pretty sure we all have some type of strategy that we have to be able to counter this anxiety, right? Sometimes it's just stepping away from the assignment too. That can help, and just going out for a little walk and then coming back and boom, getting back into it. So, we all have our strategies to overcome the anxiety, whatever our anxiety may be. Instead of I should have studied more, say I am prepared for this exam. I tried the all-nighter thing as a student. I think that was worse for me, because I went in like a zombie to drinking coffee and staying up all night. Like I thought I could do this, and I showed up to the exam super tired, and I think I was falling asleep during the exam. So it was worse for me, and I learned this early on. So I just gave myself a block to study during the week, 2 hours, an hour, whatever. And then I was okay with that. I said to myself, like, I am prepared for this exam. I did all that I could. I absorbed as much as I could, and let's just go in there and see what happens, and that's all you can really do at that point. But telling yourself you're prepared for this exam, especially if you studied and you did what you were supposed to do, or the goal, or you reach the goals that you set for yourself for that week to study, to prepare for this exam. Go in with a positive attitude and say, I am prepared for this exam, and tell yourself that, because you are.
It's a very good attitude. So one of the strategies that can really help is to use something called a swish to visualize success. So right now, I want to do it with you guys. I want you to imagine you're getting ready to take your exam and feel the anxiety that you feel, like, oh my gosh, I have to take this test. I'm worried I won't do well on it. And then in your mind, you see this image, and in the bottom right corner of this image, create another image where you're just taking the exam, you're chill, you're relaxed, you're just doing the best you can, and you don't feel that anxiety. And then what you're going to do is make the small image start to grow and make it bigger and bigger, so that it covers up the image of you feeling anxiety. And as that small image grows, you see that the colors become more vivid, and the stressful image behind it begins to fade out. And then really focus on feeling that, okay, I can do this. I'm calm, I'm prepared, I know I can do this. So using a swish several times to, tune into the anxiety, because pushing anxiety away is not always the way to get rid of it. Sometimes that makes it worse. So we acknowledge it. Okay, I'm feeling really anxious about this, but I know that I can do this. And so then you want to shift into that feeling of confidence, of calm. And so replacing the anxious image with the calm image is a one way to help you refocus your energy and, know that you can accomplish the exam.
So do you want to go ahead and do this one,
Sure.
Bonnie?
So some of the strategies we're going to share with you today are not traditional strategies, but but they are actual strategies that will calm down your brainwaves. When we're anxious, it's very common for the neurology to kind of go a little bit haywire. And that's one of the things that makes your thoughts go kind of nuts. So like you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and you're talking really fast in your mind and stuff. So the first trick, they call it Bonnie's magic trick because I brought it in. I've taught it to a lot of people, but actually we've named it the mindful twist. And so you can do it right now where you're sitting. The first thing you want to do is cross your legs at the ankles. If you're sitting Indian style on a bed, that works too. And then what you're going to do is you can put your arms out in front of you like you're clapping backwards. Okay. And then you're going to cross your hands and grab them. And then you're going to bring your arms in. So this actually calms down your brain waves. And I have proof because I saw somebody hooked up to an EEG machine and the brain waves were going like this. And the minute they did the mindful twist, their brain waves completely smoothed out. So this is, you can just sit in this. This doesn't require any thinking. You can just sit in this posture for 60 seconds or a couple minutes. You can do this while you're testing. You can do it while you're reading your questions and thinking about your answers. And just doing this calms you down. It becomes even more powerful when you combine it with grounding, which is a mindfulness strategy. Grounding is about becoming aware of your body in the here and now. And the simplest, easiest way to ground is just to become aware of where you're sitting. Like, is your chair or bed or couch, is it hard or soft? Is it comfortable? Is it supporting your back well? Like, where is it touching you? Can you feel it? Are you feeling cold right now? Are you feeling warm? Are you feeling just average? You know, the floor that your feet are on, if you have your feet on the floor, is it carpet? Is it hardwood? And so grounding is about just becoming very aware of the body in the here and now. And I always yawn when I ground because a lot of times if we're not in our body, we're not aware of how our body's feeling. So grounding, some people say, well, when I ground, it makes me tired. And it's not that it makes you tired, it makes you aware that you're tired. So just doing a hookup grounding, take a few deep breaths and just really be in the here and now. Very calming. We do this sometimes in meetings.
So getting your vagus nerve going. So Bonnie is the expert when it comes to the vagus, the vagus nerve. Is that what it's?
Yeah.
The vagus nerve. So she's the expert on it, so she'll be able to like really explain what it actually does. But I know it calms you down, and it really helps you just relax. And you can do this by belly breathing. I don't know if any of you do belly breathing. I do it a lot. Kayla, you do it as well? I do it a lot. It's a different breath where you breathe using your belly, so your lungs get more oxygen, your brain gets more oxygen, and you focus. You inhale 5 and exhale 10. Is that how it works, Bonnie?
Yeah.
Okay. So an example of this could be like fogging a mirror, right? Like when you fog a mirror, or even humming helps you also trigger the vagus nerve. I don't know if any of you have tried humming before. I thought this was kind of funny when Bonnie first brought it up, but when you hum to yourself, it does calm you down. It's really weird. If you sit there and hum to yourself when you're feeling nervous, it does, for some reason, it just calms you down and it stimulates that vagus nerve, and it helps you kind of just relax and refocus. It's really weird, but it works, and I've tried it. So the vagus nerve is something that you can stimulate to help you relax and focus during your exams and kind of ease that anxiety.
So yeah, the vagus nerve is the body's natural calming mechanism. It's the 10th cranial nerve, and it's named after the word vagrant because it goes all over your body, from your head all the way down It affects your digestion, affects your heart rate, your lungs, your facial recognition, your auditory processing. It affects a lot. It impacts your amygdala. And basically the body, when you go into fight or flight, which you go into every time you're stressed out, you go into fight or flight, the vagus nerve shuts down. It's our mechanism that helps our body get the energy to run away from the bear that's trying to eat us. So it's the body's natural way of giving you what you need when you're in survival mode. However, when you're taking an exam, you don't need to be in survival mode. So doing these strategies brings that vagus nerve back online, because it will calm your heart rate. It'll slow down your breathing. It quiets the amygdala. And if you are having a hard time leading up to the exam, one of the great ways to activate the vagus nerve is with something called the mammalian jibe reflex. And this one's a really interesting one. If we're underwater, we don't want to be breathing. And since the vagus nerve relaxes our lungs so that we don't need to breathe as quickly, it helps us hold our breath underwater. So it's super simple to activate this reflex. What you do is you go to the sink, take a deep breath, and then splash water on your face. And you can do it multiple times. And I know it sounds really strange, but it works. And so one of the cool things about the vagus exercises is that you can do them without having a lot of cognitive input, like the humming. The reason why the humming works is because the vagus nerve runs down your throat, and the humming vibrates and it stimulates that vagus nerve. So they're really good strategies to learn and utilize, because it doesn't involve a lot of talking to yourself, which sometimes when we have anxiety, it's very hard to bring up that positive self-talk. And so if you focus more on calming your physiology, then you can get there with the self-talk. Anxiety is not all mental. I think a lot of people think it is. And I think it's really important to understand that there's this physiological component that is automatic in our bodies. So countering that really helps a lot.
Also helping the brain focus, calming the mind and the nervous system is extremely important. And we could do this with, cross lateral exercises to engage the brain. Yoga is an example of great cross lateral exercises. You're stretching, yet you're working out at the same time. You're breathing. So that can help you. Obviously, you're not going to do these during the exam. Well, you probably can now because you're at home taking your exams. But it's just something you could probably do beforehand to help you relax for the exam. And while you're in the exam, you could take deep breaths in between questions. You could probably do the belly breathing in between the exams. And you could try even the blinders game. I forgot what that was, Bonnie. Do you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
That's just a game to help you focus. You basically challenge yourself to put on blinders and see how long you can really stay focused before you start getting distracted by your thoughts, your feelings, or what's going on around you. So it's just, how long can I stay on this task? So really helping. It's sometimes if you make it a challenge, how long can I do this? It's easier to do it than then if you just try to do it on its own.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds great and interesting. I wonder how long I could focus for. It's not very long though. So we could probably and then you could try the finger pinch grounding method as well. I'm not too familiar with that one as well, Bonnie.
That's just a simple grounding where you just go to give your fingers and you can pinch. You kind of look at just grounding again is paying attention to the body. Okay. So you're just, when you're doing it, you're just looking at okay, I have some wrinkles on my finger, I can feel the pressure of my finger, or, wow, when I push that hard and tweak it, my joint doesn't like that, kind of thing. Or on my finger, I have a cut. I cut myself on the rose bush yesterday. So just paying attention. That's all it is paying attention in that moment. This is something you can do in an exam if you're trying to refocus and become grounded right in the here and now.
So it can almost act like a fidget kind of?
Yeah,
Okay.
a fidget without having to bring anything in, because you're not allowed to have anything
Okay.
in. Yeah. So not during the exam, but leading up to the exam, you could use a meditation app to help you with calming. A lot of people can't do regular meditation because their brain is too chatty. And these apps are really awesome because they guide you. And so your cognitive function is distracted by focusing on what they're saying to you. So here's just a few apps that have been recommended. Something called Insight Timer. There's one called Calm. There's Breathe to Relax. I know there's many more. Maybe people here have used some of these. They're really good too if you have a hard time falling asleep at night. Using the app to just calm yourself down is also really good. So if you find that you're anxious all the time, it's a good idea to use tools like this, once a day or twice a day for 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes, just on a regular basis. You can use the Vegas exercises or the mindful twists just throughout the day to keep calming yourself down. Doesn't just have to be when you're taking a test.
Creating a calming mantra is also, really important. Picking up a phrase, a quote or prayer to help calm you down will also, help when you're taking an exam or to help prepare for an exam or an assignment, whatever it is that causes that anxiety. You use other calming strategies as well as you use the calming whatever your calming mantra may be. So you can do some belly exercising, you can do some yoga while you're saying these phrases or quotes that that help calm you down. Over time, your body will calm when you say these quotes or phrases, and because your brain will associate it with calming down. So after a while that you say these things over again and it helps you calm down, after a while your brain just automatically knows. As soon as you start saying these quotes, you will begin to calm down. And you could apply these for school, and then you could apply these for life as well, to help calm you down whenever you're feeling that anxiety. Pick a phrase, a quote, maybe have 2 or 3 that you really like, and have those as your go-to to help calm you down.
A lot of people, whether they're in 12-step or not, love the serenity prayer, which is God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that's a good one, because anxiety is a lot about wanting control. So letting go of, I can't control all of this right now. That's good. So those are all the strategies we have to share today. We do have a YouTube channel, and on that YouTube channel, we have a video, another workshop we did, that is proven study tactics for exams. Because one of the ways to reduce your anxiety is to feel confident in your knowledge of the subject matter. So I encourage you to go to our YouTube channel and check it out. It has very specific techniques, including ways to, we talk about if you have a conceptual exam, for example, you're gonna have to write like essay questions, or if you have a factual exam where you have a lot of memorization, we talk about specific ways to learn that material so it's easier to retain and bring it up when you're taking an exam. So please visit our YouTube channel. And we have some upcoming workshops. If you're a DOS student and you're approved for note-taking accommodation this afternoon at 2 o'clock, we have a workshop that's going to teach how to use Note-Taking Express. Even if you feel like you know how to use Note-Taking Express, I highly recommend this, because Alyssa's going to teach more techniques and strategies to make it easier. She's going to teach how to do it on your phone and how to do it on a computer. So I highly encourage you to do that. If you want to get the Zoom link, just you can private message Ramona or myself in the chat, and we'll make sure that you get the Zoom link for that. Next Wednesday at 10, we're going to have virtual scavenger hunt game for diverse dolphins. This is like super fun. You do scavenger hunt with things in your house. And it's really hilarious to see what people grab when you pull different, like you basically say things like find something round, find something that starts with the first letter of your name kind of thing. And we do a bunch of rounds with a bunch of objects, and it's really hilarious to see what people grab. And it's really just a time to relax and have fun. And then of course, spring break is coming up soon. So you guys are almost there where you can have like a breather, and hopefully you don't have too many projects to work on over spring break. So lots of great stuff. And after spring break, we'll do more of these virtual skill workshops as well. So does anybody have any questions?
Bonnie, a few of our students are asking for the link for the Note-Taking Express.
Okay,
so we can-
hold on. Do you want to try to message Alyssa and ask for the Zoom link? Maybe she'll give it to you because I don't have it.
Yeah, that's what I was asking to see
Yeah,
if
that's
you
a
had
good
it.
idea. We'll have Alyssa, and that way we can post it. Hopefully she's there. So anybody have any questions about how to reduce anxiety? Maybe you have a specific challenge that none of our strategies address, because Ramon and I, we've done a lot of work with students on this, so we're happy to share any ideas we can offer. Okay, so no question. What?
So I messaged her, but if not, we can always, I'm trying to see, didn't she send us something? Let me see if I can find it.
But it says to, yeah, it says to email note taking. I'm going to turn off the recording now. You guys, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to stop recording.